Hey guys, this is RyGuyGaming here today, back with another Roblox scripting tutorial. And I know this isn't my usual tutorial land. That's because I made this script on another place. I was helping a buddy of mine make it. Here's his username if you want to check him out. But anyways, so today we are going to be learning how to do a real loading screen GUI. I know a lot of people were getting on me saying, like our last one, like, oh, this is just a fake. The thing is, like, as far as I know, there's no way to like actually tell Roblox to load stuff. I can promise you that every loading screen on every game you see is fake. It's not actually doing anything besides counting down a timer until you can click the play button. Now, they might make it become before the Roblox loading screen, which is what we're going to do today, but it's not actually like moving assets around or, you know, polishing texture. I don't know what loading screens do in Roblox, but so anyways, to get started, what you're going to need, of course, is a GUI. And so I have mine right here, and this is just the game that I was doing it for. And as you can see here, I have a title that says welcome, please wait while the game is loading, and then I have a loading bar, which I will tell you how to do. We actually use tweening. If you haven't seen my tutorial on tweening GUIs, I recommend you look it up so that you'll be able to do a loading bar. But this is how I have it set up. So I have the frame, which is the entire GUI, I have the title, and I have the please wait while the game is loading text. And then I also have a close button, but it's invisible, so let me make it visible, that just says play. And inside of that button is a script that just destroys the GUI. So it's just a really simple script. And just a quick side note before I go any further, as far as I am aware, this should work with filtering enabled, because this is just a local script. It gets copied right into the player, so you shouldn't have to worry about filtering enabled in this working. In fact, I think I actually did filtering enabled on this place, and I tested it and it worked fine. Yep, filtering enabled is check, and we'll test it on a server just to show you guys that it works. So I'm going to go ahead and hide the play button again, because it doesn't pop up until the loading bar is done. And so what I did for the loading bar is I just have a frame, which is actually the gray rectangle in the back there, and then on top I have the, you know, the 0% text, and then I have the blue bar, which you can't see because it doesn't have a size. So right now its size is zeros all across the board, and so if I make it big enough so that you can see it, that's what the loading bar will look like when it's fully loaded. So let me undo that, and now you can't see it because the game isn't loaded. So let's go ahead and get into the actual script. So once you've made your GUI, go ahead and you're going to put it inside of a local script inside of the replicated first. Now what replicated first does, it is a service that whenever a new player joins the game will copy over everything inside replicated first into the player as soon as they join the game, even before Roblox starts loading everything and rendering everything and stuff like that. And so this is the perfect time to bypass the Roblox loading screen. And so you're going to want to insert a local script inside of the replicated first by just inserting an object, and then paste your GUI into there and just leave it there like that. Now we're going to go ahead and take a look at the actual script. So the first thing we're going to get is the player's GUI. So you get game.players.localPlayer wait for child player GUI. Now the reason you have to do this is because, like I said, it copies this to the player immediately after the game after they load the game, so the player might not even have their GUI yet, so you have to wait for their GUI to load or else it'll throw an error. And then this next line, Roblox Wiki actually recommends you do this. You set the top bar's transparency to 0 so that you can't see through it, just so you can't see any of the loading going on behind the screens, because it might look a little ugly, you know, since we're going to be removing the default loading screen. And so the next thing I do is that I get everything I'm going to want to be using from my GUI. So I get the GUI itself. This is the screen GUI. This is the bar, the blue one that will move. This is the text, the 0% that will change. And this is the play button. And then I parent the GUI into the player's GUI, so I put it in there. And then this line removes the Roblox default loading screen. Now it's down here after this one, because if I was to put it up here above everything, there is a slight delay between removing this GUI and the player's GUI loading. So again, there would be that big empty space where you could actually see the game loading and it just looks ugly. So that's why we insert the loading screen down here. And then we set up a variable here. This isn't the best way to do this, but I adapted this from the wiki and I was too lazy to finish this. But you're just going to make a loop and just change the text. And then you are at the same time going to tween the bar so that its X value is the count divided by 100, which will get you a decimal where once this reaches 100, it will be 100 divided by 100, which is 1, which will mean that the blue bar will fill up the gray bar completely. And so you can just copy this. This is the speed at which it moves, which should be pretty quick for this, or else the bar might not fill up all the way. And then you just increment the count, so let it go up by 1 every time, and then you wait. I recommend waiting a small amount of time because counting from 0 to 100 can actually take a while. So if you just leave wait blank, it'll basically wait for like the shortest amount of time. And then I just make the button visible. And that's it for this script. So let me go ahead and I will start well, first of all, I'll test it just normally to show you that it works. So it'll load up and then I can click play. Now let me start a server test, and there it is. And I will show you that it works when you run it from the server. So let me, gosh dang it, cancel that. And then as you can see here, now we have our loading screen and we click play and we are able to play. And so this does leave the top bar completely opaque. So if you want to change it back to transparent after it's done loading, you can do that. I don't know what the default value for it is though, so you'll just have to toy around till it looks right. Because it doesn't normally look like this, right? It's normally a little more transparent, and right now it's completely opaque. And so you can just play around with that until you get it to a point where it looks like it used to be, if you don't like it to be a completely black bar. And let me just show you how to do that just in case you don't understand what I mean. All you do is just copy this line and then put it somewhere like down here, or even in your close button. You could put it in your close button and just change this to something that is less than 1, because 1 will be completely transparent. And so anyways, that's it for this tutorial. A real loading screen for once that comes before the Roblox loading screen. If you guys enjoyed, please be sure to subscribe so you can see future tutorials, and post a comment for any suggestions you may have for those future tutorials. And sorry, I better stop spinning, people get sick. And I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.